So I want to show you how I went from this stack of 1, 2, 3, 4 notebooks at the beginning of this school year to this traveler's notebook, okay? This was ridiculous. As a brand new teacher, I think the main part of planning is really figuring out what do you need. And since I had a completely new career in a completely new country, in a completely new life, I had absolutely no idea what I needed. And that was the first problem with this system, was like I was fragmented. I was all over the place because I had no idea where to start. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm Tina with Overall Adventures. Let's do this. Let's talk about my teacher bullet journal and my teacher setup. So like I said, I'm a first-year teacher living in Doha, Qatar. I moved from the US to Doha in August of 2018, and boom, started the school year. I'm an English and theater teacher. I teach grade 6 to grade 10 in theater, and I teach grade 11 in DP literature. So before being a teacher, I jumped in on the internet and was like, there has to be teacher bullet journals. I know this. And there's some amazing ones. So I essentially just took everybody's ideas and kind of compiled them into my own bullet journal because, again, I had no idea what I needed and what would work for me. So I started off with this. Let's put this aside. I started off with this, okay? This is a soft cover olive green Leuchtturm, and it's not A5. It's bigger than A5, but not fully composition. I don't really know what this thing is, but I started off with this, and this was a gift, and I'm so grateful for it. However, this really did not work for me. I'm gonna show you. See this? This happened like week 1 in August, the way that this kind of binding just started to come apart. Not on the back, which I thought was weird, just the front. And I tried to cover this with washi, and I tried to cover it with packing tape and all different kinds of things, and it just never stuck. I think it's something about this kind of cover, like the texture of the cover, but nothing stuck to this, and it was so annoying. Oh my god, it was so annoying. And like just the general quality of the notebook, like this started falling apart right away. Whereas I feel like the hardcover Leuchtturms, like I've never had a problem with them durability wise. So that really surprised me about this notebook. So yeah, I'm gonna jump in, and a lot of this is inspired by quite a few different YouTubers. I'm gonna move this around. So this idea of a teacher dashboard, this is from Alexandra Plans, as you can see. I abandoned this. I from the beginning of the year, so she has like different labels, like copies I need to make and people I need to see, and I didn't even draw those in because I had this feeling like this is not gonna work for me. And mainly because like these Post-its stuck okay, but most Post-its do not like stick for long periods of time. And I don't know, I just hated this, like, and I got sick of like the neon. I'm not a neon person. I'm not a pink person, and I don't dislike pink, but it's just not, like, I just did not like this aesthetic, and like I always felt like it was peeling and looked like super messy, but I did like how I could always kind of change these in and out. So I don't know. You'll see how I use Post-its in my current system, but this just, I have like a really mixed relationship with this. This helped me the first few weeks of teaching, I have to say. It really did, to kind of brain dump things, but I always felt like it looked so messy and it made me feel like a little bit out of control. Yeah. Okay, then I have my index, which was fine. But then like here's where like this random stuff, like anchor chart ideas, so posters I wanted to make for my classroom, like it's just here and I don't know why, I didn't know where to put it. Here, this was just like a random like don't forget like email protocol for parents, and like I just didn't know where to put it. So I don't know. You'll see. This was my schedule, so that page was helpful. I recopied that into my current bullet journal, but like I made a couple mistakes and whatever, it's okay. And meetings changed and things that I put in pen. This is my future log from September to June. I love future logs. I basically kept this identical spread for my current teacher bullet journal. So this worked for me. I love this idea of like a professional development thing, but like as a first year teacher, I don't know, this is important real estate. Like the first 2 pages of your bullet journal, and I obviously did not use this, and I'm not having a lot of professional development at the moment because, hello, I'm a first year teacher and I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm just starting out. So this felt like the wrong placement, and I could have had like a quarter of the page for this. This was great though, websites and passwords, because I was getting so many new systems and I was learning so much, and I had all these things now to remember. So this was helpful, but I don't know, once I had it all kind of saved on my computer, I didn't really ever reference this again. So I don't know, I didn't love how accessible this would potentially be to students. So I don't know, I did not end up copying this into my current bullet journal. Clearly don't use this at all. This ended up being like anytime love the idea that I got from other teachers, but I just did not come back to this. Whenever I contact parents, I have like a separate folder in my emails, and so I just take a note of when I contact them, and so that's all electronic. This also is electronic, this idea of activity, behavior, and consequences of when I have trouble with a student. So again, we do this all online as a school anyways. Yeah. This was cool. I like the way it looked, like all of this. Like I like the way like this took me hours, and this was good. Like I honestly feel like the making of this bullet journal relieved so much like new teacher stress that in and of itself was worth it. Like these pages took me hours to set up before school started, and that relieved my anxiety, you could say, about teaching. But I obviously did not use this. Like, you know, it's March now and I'm starting to plan my first potential field trip if it goes through. I didn't even use this. Guest speakers, I haven't had any time for that. So it's just like all good things, but not quite applicable for a first year teacher. Bloom's taxonomy, again, cool. I reference this-ish. You know, I love these verbs, so it is nice, and especially to remind myself to use with students, but again, not something I reference on a daily. This was supposed to be a page dedicated to my literature class and like writing out the standards. So I'm in an IB school, which is a little bit different than a public school, which is very different, I should say, than any schools I was in before. But I was going to write down their standards, and they have these things called command terms. So, you know, this is their equivalent of Bloom's, and most of the words are the same, like analyze, comment, compare, contrast, discuss, explain, explore, create. So it's kind of the same thing. This was theater. Again, like I didn't have time to finish these spreads, so obviously I never went back and used them. Again, blank. I love the ideas, but all of this is online. I just put this all in Google Classroom now. So classroom management. So this is 10 steps from Have a New Kid by Friday, which I adore that book, and it was super helpful. And then, yeah, just little tip-ins on just tips from reading, but I don't know, too wordy. This was measurements in my classroom. I actually should put this in my current bullet journal because this is helpful when I'm designing posters or want to hang things. Wish list, which is nice. But then I ended up doing it here. So this is my literature class. These are our aims, but we changed this, so it's not as relevant right now. These are our drama standards. So these are the different strands and the different criterion that we use. So it's helpful, but again, all online. So, and then we got to the monthly. So here is monthly spread, which I still completely use. And I thought, like, the main reason why it was in this book was because I thought I needed some massive planner in order to organize my life. And now I've come to realize that I don't. I'm okay in an A5 size. So I don't know. I really wanted this to work because I love the paper quality and I love the dots, but there's something this didn't work. You know what I mean? It just doesn't feel right. I tried this as a layout. This didn't work. Let's see if I can find a page. Okay, this one's really vague. So I would essentially break up my day. So this would be Sunday, and in the Middle East, we're on a Sunday to Thursday schedule. So here are all my classes, and then after each class, I would try to take a note about the class and how it went. So like hook equals success. I've never seen them so excited to start a book. Disruptive, and like I would usually not put their names in here anyway. I would put like a first letter of their name. But this was really helpful to reflect after each lesson, and I still kind of do something like this, but what I noticed was I tended to get pretty negative in here. and I wanted to switch my mindset. So now I do something a little different, and I'll show you. But this was helpful since I teach drama once a week to each of these classes, grades 6 to 10. And it's helpful to just write down like, hey, here's where we stopped, Tina. So like, just so you remember, like next week, like, oh, you didn't get to this part in the lesson, so you're gonna have to pick it up here, whereas the next class might be a little ahead or a little behind. So that would have reflection pages, and then I would have another monthly. And then I would have more reflection pages, and then another monthly. And again, more reflection pages, and another monthly. And I guess like what I really felt like I was missing was me in this notebook, if that makes sense. Like, which is great. It's obviously about my students, but I was missing a place for me to be me and be creative and come up with my lesson ideas and to come up with just regrounding in my own self-care. This was just so work heavy. And by the end of December, I swear, I looked at this book and I just was like, oh my gosh, I don't know, what do I want to say? It's almost like I felt like I don't want to even think about work. This book just embodies the things I don't like about work or the struggles I have with work. So I was like, well, it's time. So January hit, I went through January and I was just struggling through this book, and February hit and I was like, no. So I set up the book, and then I was like, I'm gonna abandon it. I don't know, and I know in the journaling community, there's kind of different philosophies on this. I am not someone who typically abandons books. I don't like abandoning a notebook and leaving it like this, but that's just how much I disliked this system. And it wasn't just this. So in order to get to school every day, I had this. And then I ended up, because I didn't like the Post-its, bringing a Rhodia to school, where I would essentially this would be my messy list. So this is what would be on those Post-its before. And I still mix Post-its, right? So this was like the messy brain dump. So I'd bring that. And then I would bring this notebook, which was a meeting notebook, which I really only use like once a week when we have our meetings. And just notes from there. Okay, and then I ended up bringing my personal journal. So it's like this, to go to school, my bag would be full of these 4 already. And I don't know, it just wasn't working. It just wasn't working. It was too much. And it was too much to carry. This felt like, I don't know, I love the way this looks, but I thought, like, why did I put diary on the front? Like, I'm a teacher. I can't just leave this out on my desk. And, like, what if a kid, like, grabs it off my desk? And, like, it literally says diary on it. So it just felt, like, too obvious. So this, I felt like I wanted to bring to school, but I always felt uncomfortable by, like, having it there. Like, what if a kid, like, happens to just open it thinking it's something else? It's just a composition notebook. Most kids use composition notebooks. Like, this could easily get in the mix of something else, and that would be terrible. That would truly be terrible. So I don't know, it was like a struggle with this guy, and then, I don't know, so this whole thing was just a mess. And then it was basically end of January, February, it was like, I have this beautiful Highland green Chic Sparrow sitting in my closet for what? And it was honestly, it's because I didn't have these fancy A5 inserts that I wanted. Hold on, I'm gonna take a sip. Living in Doha, like the access to stationery is super limited, and or at least I just haven't figured it out yet where to get nice paper. And there's no Amazon, right? So my access, basically everything I brought with me on the plane in August is essentially all I have, which is very nice for my spending because I haven't really bought any journaling supplies, and that's normally a large piece of what I spend my money on. So I just was like, oh, I don't want to use these notebooks. Like, I don't want to use the junky notebooks that I had. So I just this is why I didn't go to this. So I went into my closet, I pulled out every blank notebook that I brought with me from home, and I realized, like, oh my gosh, I think I could make this work. So what I ended up doing was pulling this notebook, which is, where is it from? A Gallison? I don't even know. I think I think this was gifted to me from like TJ Maxx or something, and it's the same as this. So I still use this meeting notebook, like I said, like we only I don't know, we have our big staff meetings once a week. And so I usually just throw this in my bag on a Tuesday when we have our meetings. I could put it in this, I could put it right here as well, but I don't know, I don't use it enough to have it like take up space. And as a lefty, I feel like I need it to be a nice writing surface, otherwise I don't use it. So this is what I ended up going to as my new bullet journal, and it has lines. And I was like, I can't believe, like, I don't know, I can't believe I'm going back to lines. I love the dot grid. Why would I change it? Well, I didn't have a dot grid A5, and I was that desperate to get into something new. So I was just like, this is it. This is like not even great paper quality. I don't recommend this journal whatsoever, but it's working for me right now, and that's what matters. So I put this on, be here now. This has kind of been my mantra of the school year, to be present with these students that I adore and to be present for myself. So no matter how stressed I am, to remind myself to be in the moment, to be here now. So you will see this is now, since starting in, you know, I guess February, March, this is what I need as a teacher. And now that I know, I can structure better in the future, right? So starts off with this kind of, my schedule is the main hub, the main easiest access page. I don't care. I usually sometimes just have this open on my desk. I don't care if kids can see this, they can see what's here. There's nothing, you know, personal there. So that's great. And I washi tape down the side, so it's super accessible. These are in black, these are the meetings I have every week. Now I know there's no whiteout. It's just, it is what it is. This is my schedule. This is my daily life. This is kind of my dashboard. So it's like it's almost like I took this that wasn't working, and instead of dedicating the whole inside, I just dedicated this inside cover, and I love it. So instead of sticking these post-its to the whatever material this is in here, I stick them right to a piece of, actually this is rhodia paper. I just stick it to a piece of paper, and then I notice the post-its stick so much better, which really makes a difference for me. And this is like where I pull post-its in and out. So post-its usually gather here. And of course, breathe. So I tried to add more of myself in what I need, which is peace and calm in the craziness of a school day. So it's just, you'll see there's these little messages kind of throughout the journal to remind me to breathe, to have peace. So today I'm on break, so this is my little break to-do list. And this is kind of where my longer term lists will accumulate before I kind of migrate them into more daily pages. And then underneath here, this is just our bell schedule, okay? Cool. Next page, future log, super important as a teacher. And now it's really nice, actually. I like seeing it like this from January to June instead of the whole massive year in front of me. This is more manageable. So the days that we have off are in this yellow color, and then these are post-its. So if I mess something up here or if something changes and I don't like it, I can just pull this off, and I have these craft paper post-its that I have here. And I like it. It's very clean. It's very simple. So that's important to me. I think in the chaos of teaching, it's nice to have a place that feels functional, and that's what I was missing from my other journal. And then in here is a gathering of lists. So I essentially took all of these front pages that were just like this and this and this, taking up all this space, and I combined them into one tiny little thing. So on this post-it, it's my absence log, like how often I'm absent. I'm not absent a lot, so it's kind of good to put it on there, tiny post-it. This is my professional development. I'm a new teacher. I've only done 2 little things so far, so that's a good place to put it. This is our email protocol. So who do I CC? And I'm already kind of memorized this, but it's always nice to refer to. If I want to send an email home, what do I have to do? Who do I have to CC in the email? Anchor charts are things I want to design for my classroom. And then this is probably my, I love this little post-it, the most helpful thing ever. And that is, here are the breakdown of classes. So I have 3 sections of 6th grade, 3 sections of 7th grade, 4 sections of 8th grade, 2 of 9th grade, 3 of 10th grade. We're a small school, and my 1 section of DP, which is my literature course. And I have how many kids are in each group. Guys, I have 278 students. I don't know how this happened. This is insane. But this helps me with photocopies. This is my favorite chart, probably. One of the most practical things. And then over here, this is my why. This is my why page. Reasons why I do what I do. And this is, I don't know, on days when I'm sad or on days when it's just tough, this is what I come to. And I was missing this from my first book. And I don't know, for me, this is so important. Personal connections with teens, laughter, honesty, self-discovery. And I just love this age group. I feel like I can make a difference every day. Teaching allows me to be my creative self. Oh gosh, maybe if you guys want me to talk more about how I'm creative in the classroom, please let me know. It's probably my favorite part about teaching this year, is being able to be creative with my students. Watching students have aha moments. I feel like this might be my number one. Scratch what I just said. I don't know. I just love this moment when they're like, wait, what? Gatsby's what? Like, I live for that moment. I love being a part of a team and a family. Teaching classic literature is freaking fun. It connects us together to the world, expression, life lessons, and storytelling. I just feel so lucky that I get to teach the subjects I do. For me, so it's like I wrote, writing in theater is communication, which equals expression, which equals self-discovery and confidence. And I just love that every day I get to go into work and ultimately help my students become more confident people and more self-expressive people. I think it's just amazing. This job pushes me to grow intellectually, creatively, and emotionally. My students need me. I found myself through theater and drama club, and I can give my students that same gift in return. And I can give back to others and repay my old teachers and mentors through this job. So that is why I do what I do. And then, yeah, so then I just listed my monthly spreads for the rest of the year. So from February, when I migrated into this journal and ditched my system, I went, just let me see all these spreads in a row. And it's amazing. It kind of merges the future log with a monthly spread. So I don't track it too much. I got more in it on here, but here are the days I was working out with the little dot. Not much, guys, not much. And then the little heart was when I would go on a date or connect somehow with my husband in a cute way, or do something fun for him. And yeah, we try to do date nights as well on Tuesdays. Yeah, so the things in black are the steadies. So I always have drama club, middle school drama club on Mondays, and I always have high school drama club on Thursdays. And different meetings we got a talent show, so that'll be fun. Yeah, and then the blues are things that kind of change or are new events. And then this little bookmark, this is just from one of the lower school students. My husband bought it for me. So cute. And I don't really need it, but I just love it. And then yeah, it's just, you know, pretty straightforward. Some things I put in pencil when I'm like, I really don't know if this deadline's gonna stay in my move, so I just put it in pencil. And then I don't want to show this too much, but I basically divide the page in half. And I have my regular to-do list, which used to be that messy Rhodia notebook or on Post-its. I just go straight down. And then on the other side, I have what I call silver linings, right? Silver linings is at the end of the class, I will just take really messy, just like in a paragraph, notes about the gold stars, the silver lining, the positive things that happen in class. This is key for my positivity. So I don't want to show it because I put students' names in there. But it's just little things that happen in a lesson. Yes, they got it. Or yes, that aha moment happened. Or oh my gosh, this kid, like I finally made a connection with this kid. Or oh my gosh, this other student was so involved in this lesson and I had no idea that she would connect with the material in this way. And it's just like the little wins, the silver linings of the day. So I mix that reflection page that I had in here. I just don't do it as formally anymore. I kind of now just, it's like a mini entry on the positives and where we left off after each lesson. And if I don't remember, I don't push myself, I don't beat myself up about it. I always have a Post-it on marking because the marking or the grading never ends, right? So this is what I need to be doing. And then I'm starting a field trip, hopefully planning a field trip. And I didn't really know where to put this. This was super messy notes. I probably could have put it in my meeting section, but the Post-it was the first thing I grabbed. So yeah, so that's it. Really, that's my teacher bullet journal. I'm not going to fill this up. I probably will abandon this because when I go back to the US in the summer, I'm going to get a nicer notebook, although this has been very good to me. And yeah, this is how I went from this messiness, craziness all to this. Oh, and I think if you check out my everyday carry, I talk more about this notebook, but this is a Leuchtturm hardcover. Adore. I rolled it. It's the best thing ever. And this is my personal journal. So I take this all goes with me to school. And this is where I write my morning pages in the morning, but also where I write during the school day. So if I have even 5 minutes, even like in between periods, and I just need to relieve some stress, this is where I will dump it. This is also where I love to do my assignments with my students, especially with my older students in particular, because I can use my writing as a model for them. So in DP literature, we'll write papers and we do like just different writing exercises sometimes, and I will write in here alongside them and then use my writing as kind of a model for them as an example. So that is my teacher bullet journal, and I have like a little bit more planner piece here. Is it perfect? No. Is life ever perfect though? No. So this is what's working for me. If you want to see a full flip through of this notebook, please check out my everyday carry. And thank you so much for joining me. This is Tina with Overall Adventures. Be here now, friends. Thank you for joining me. Peace.